phone now because I realized you can't use anything but your phone when it comes to co-creating live. So it's all good. I appreciate you guys for hopping on in the beginning. We are going to be live now. That was an amateur move by me, but we live and learn, man. This is the first run for me when it comes to co-creating live. So we are live with this now. I'm about to just delete this other live that I have so you guys don't hop on there. I'm gonna wait for my boy Dwight to hop on right now. Appreciate you guys for showing love. There we go. There we go. All right. Edit this. How y'all doing, man? I appreciate y'all for hanging in there. I know it's been a crazy little run. 5 minutes. I had somebody commented talking about 5 minutes. Like, bro, technical difficulties. Technical difficulties, as usual. You feel me? All right, I'm gonna delete this live replay so we don't have more people hopping on there trying to figure out what the flying ladoodle is going on. I can't cuss because I feel like YouTube is gonna cancel me. Oh yeah, we'll talk about Myron Gaines and everything on here, bro. It's gonna be crazy. I'm waiting on Dwight right now to hop on. We'll give you guys a brief kind of storyline of how we met because it's very unique. He's one of my close friends, man. Like he's somebody that I genuinely one respect and two we align in the way that we think. So we're gonna have him hop on right now. Make sure that he's good. There we go. We made
You
it.
see me? Everything
Everything's
cool?
clear. Everything's clear.
Okay, back. Because I was like, I couldn't see it. It only lets you do it on live. I mean,
Yeah,
on mobile.
on mobile. I figured. Yeah, YouTube got to catch up.
So straight. What's going
Welcome,
on, bro?
welcome, Dwight, to the audience, and obviously your audience will probably hop in as well.
For sure.
Um, just to introduce you guys to Dwight, man. Dwight is somebody who is honestly coming up on the scene on YouTube. His content is amazing. If you guys have not watched his content, I urge you to go binge watch his content right now. It's I call him a spiritual heavyweight because that's what he is. Jacked, fucking all that. He understands. We both are on the same wavelength when it comes to life, and we've lived very very unique lives. And I think it's just very important for you guys to hear his perspective, hear my perspective, and hopefully I can figure out a way to be able to get one of you guys on here as well. Maybe I don't know if YouTube does like three people.
Try live. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that works, but yeah, man. So Dwight, I'll let you introduce yourself properly, and then we can run through kind of the backstory of how we met, stuff like that.
Sure. Hello, Martel's audience. Like he said, a spiritual heavyweight. That's what he calls me, and I've kind of adopted that name, but otherwise go as Mr. Brown. I've been on this spiritual enlightenment game for over a decade. Built a content agency, coach students and men that to get not only their structure in line, but how to kind of find the abundance in life that a lot of the mainstream media tries to gloss over with foolishness, as we might say. So there's a lot. There's some in depth stuff that we're definitely going to jump into. And
Yeah.
as Martel said, we got a history for a while now, and so we've watched each other grow
Mhm.
in many ways. I think we were right there when I had quit my 9 to 5 4 years
Yep.
ago.
Yep.
That like we was there the whole time. So
Mhm.
it's been a great experience to have him as a person to work parallel from. And it's been just a blessing to have somebody at least at the same caliber of thinking and not have to deal with a group of people that don't think at a high level. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
excited.
man. And that's the craziest part, fellas. Like that's why I always tell you, always find people who are like-minded and connect with them as best as you can, because again, you never know who's going to come really close to you and people who you will be able to collaborate with in the future. Like, would we have known maybe like a few years ago we'd be doing this right now? Probably not.
Probably not.
But again, Dwight, somebody, man, built a really, really solid agency, made a lot of money from the agency, came in, is now teaching other men how to create content, how to build structure, like he's saying. That's his whole framework is creating structure in your life. And 100% somebody that I think you guys will learn a lot from in parallel. If you guys watch me, but if you watch him, you're going to learn other things that I may not talk
Yeah.
about as well. So goes hand in hand. So today the topic is going to be around the Cuck pipeline of the modern men, right?
For sure.
So the thing that a lot of I think men don't understand is this whole spectator and being in the arena and actually
Mhm.
doing shit in life. I think a lot of men they watch, and again, I appreciate all of you guys for watching, but at the end of the day, once you watch, you have to implement things in real life, right? So we're going to talk a lot about that whole timeline of like from birth. Dwight will talk about the spiritual stuff. I'll chime in as well. And we'll just kind of get you guys understanding why maybe you're at the level that you're at currently, how you can make a change. Because it's one thing, we're not going to sit here and just yell at you all day. It's more of
Right.
just giving you, like Dwight says, the structure to be able to live life in the arena and actually make shit happen and don't just sit there and watch other people win. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So yeah, bro. We can start where we can start from the roots, bro,
Let's
like from the
let's
beginning.
let's do it. Let's do it. I think we can go straight into childhood. I think everything stems from your childhood. So once you understand that you're living a life that you aren't necessarily in control of because the programs that you operate from are instilled from a system and parents that may have not understood life at the way that you're trying to live it. Right. So you come in the world not knowing shit. Like you know nothing at all. And then you get given a broken system that was and like given to your parents. Your parents then don't know anything better but to give their children and protect their children from the fears that they have installed from their parents. So off bat, you're fighting a losing game because you're understanding life at a disadvantage because the things that you see and understand that you want to become isn't given to you at birth. You're not nurtured in that way to be pushed into entrepreneurship, into having a structure that can give you the feminine energy of abundance and cash flow and women, right? And so you grow up thinking like, oh shit, that's all I know. My parents don't want me to do this. I shouldn't do this. This is bad. This is good. Like it's absolute dogma. And if you don't get to a place where you can break out of that box, you are going to live your life as a cuck male, no masculine frame, zero
No.
cash flow, no women, zero opportunities, and you'll just end up inevitably regretting the existence that you currently live. So it all stems from your childhood. So we could totally start from
We
that
can
that basis right there.
that and you'll also I want you to touch on the whole feminine energy thing because I think a lot of men nowadays we're conditioned to think that we have to be hyper masculine, which is fine, but
Yeah.
there's a balance between the two, right? There's
Mhm.
feminine and there's masculine, and transformation only starts with the feminine. You have to
Yeah.
be in the feminine state for transformation.
Have
But
to.
even going back to like going off of what you said, when you're a child, you're not in spectator mode when you grow up. Like
Yeah.
as you're a child, you're playing, you're doing things, you're fully aware of what's going on, you're participating in things, but you get trained by society to
Mhm.
get into a point where now you're in an education system, you're in school, you're
Mhm.
spectating a teacher telling you what to do, you're
Yeah.
listening, you're watching other people play, maybe in the playground. You wish that you're in the playground because a lot of us grew up, we weren't very popular when we
Yeah.
were young, right? And so
Mhm.
you're stuck just watching, and that becomes a conditioning that you get in your brain to where I need to be watching other people win, and I need to sit on the sidelines eating popcorn and just cheering them on, right?
Facts.
And that from childhood is crazy because a lot of men don't realize that. And as we're going to talk about, as it progresses, it gets worse and worse and worse to the point where now you're not living your own life because a lot of men don't realize your
Mhm.
parents created your life story.
Yup.
Your friends created your life story when you were young. Your teachers created your life story.
Yes,
The
bro.
education system created your life story. The media that you were watching creates your life story, right?
Yeah.
So now that all of these life stories have been put in your brain, you're forced to live the life that everybody else has written for you. And
Yup.
there's not many men who've sat there and said, okay, this is the life that I've been living up until this point. Now let me not erase it because that was my life. Let me author the new story that I'm going to live from
Mhm.
ages, we're what, 27, 28,
Yup.
going all the way up to like when you die. What is that process like? How are you going to live your life being congruent, being fully fulfilled, right?
Facts.
But again, when you start off in that childhood phase, you have to be able to understand now retrospectively because you couldn't know that when you were a kid.
Mhm.
Everything that you've known up until this point has been fully conditioned by other people who are not you, based on their own biases, based on their own survivalship, based on their own perspectives, paradigms of life. Everything you've learned has been authored by somebody else up until this point. This is awareness for you right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's childhood. But then when we get into adolescence, what happens?
Did you freeze there?
No, no, no. This is for you to
Oh,
go
okay,
off of
okay. I
now.
was like, I
Yeah.
was like, you got real still. Um, Adolescence is where it starts to solidify. That's literally what happens.
Hmm.
If you're in a box, think you sit in a box, you sit in a cell, basically. Your parents give you what to do and all of these things, and you take it as law because your parents become God to you. And the
Hmm.
second you revere your parents as God, that's when your identity shatters. You will
Hmm.
never have the ability to hold on to something outside of the perception of what your parents are telling you you should be and what they want you to be. So now adolescence comes, and you're like, well, mommy told me I need to operate this way. And daddy never gave me the full structure because daddy was a coward in his life. So daddy went to a 9 to 5 to give you the support and provide as a man, but never gave you the skills to adopt a masculine frame that you needed to enter into society. You, as Johnny, then run to your mom for the coddling. And so you have this like it's not a duality of masculine and feminine. It's very separated. Your parents, like your mom, over coddled you. Your dad never gave you the proper frameworks, but you also then followed the theology and the ideas that they implanted in your body when you were young, or in your brain when you were young. So now it starts to calcify around who you are, and you just follow this program. And society makes it even worse because they follow this mediocrity and continue to push the average man. And then daddy and mommy said starts to make sense because it's based upon mediocrity. And
Hmm.
so then you become an average male and you're overlooked, you're not seen, right? The popularity that we spoke about a second ago, you will never
Hmm.
become because you have no unique essence to you because your parents shattered it from you when you were a child, and you don't
Right.
understand that masculine structure, and you don't understand feminine flow. And when you don't understand those because your parents should have given it to you, you're now going to operate at a dysfunction. And when dysfunction is around you, it just becomes the norm. So now all these men are running around, young teenagers going into young adulthood, believing that the structure that they have is law. And
Hmm.
so then you start to break out. You'll start to break out, and the men that desire to break out actually do break out.
Hmm.
And we get out around that age of 17, 18, because then there's times where your consciousness and the voice within you will say something's wrong here. This isn't making sense. Something triggers it, whether it's a traumatic experience, whether it's you start to question the religion that you're in. Something sparks a cognitive shift in your brain, and you look around and you say, this mediocrity is not it. This is not what I desire. And your parents are still struggling. So therefore, their frameworks that they gave you can't be law because
Hmm.
it's not correct. And then you start to see, okay, cool. These people are trying to make me work for a 9 to 5 to become a battery in society.
Cog in the machine.
Cog in a machine. Something's wrong.
Hmm.
That awakens you. And when you start to awaken and you come away from the dysfunctions of society, you now become an outcast because dysfunction has been normalized. And now that you realize the dysfunction, everyone's identity is built into this dysfunction. So the
Hmm.
second you start to call out the dysfunction, they're going to look at you like you're crazy, one.
Hmm.
But two, you're also then going to be attacking people's identity
Hmm.
because it's surrounded by dopamine loops, destructive loops, trauma loops. People attach your identity to suffering.
Hmm.
And when you can see that and say, you know what, that suffering is not your identity.
Hmm.
This lifestyle of going to a 9 to 5 is not my identity. I also get women at a certain point, but that's also not my identity, my ability
Hmm.
to get women. So what is my identity? And when you
Hmm.
do it for a long enough period of time, and that's why I can confidently say I've been in this space for 12 years, started this shit when I was 17, right? 15, 17, you get all of these awakening moments. And
Hmm.
that's when your reality shifts and you stop adopting. And the quicker, and I think we've spoken about this over and over before, the second you don't revere your parents as God and the
Yes.
frameworks that they gave you, is the second you will break out and become the man that you desire to be. Because it's
100%.
just like you have to basically destroy the structure that you know and hold on to because of your loved ones, and then start from the rubble and build from what you got. But that's the best time because that's when you figure out who the fuck you are and what you're
Yeah.
made of.
And that's also where I think cowardice starts to seed in, right? When you get into a point where you're growing up, now we're talking about adolescence. We just talked about childhood, right? That's where all of the roots start in. That's where all of the subconscious programmings come in. You're not aware of how you're changing. Now you get into adolescence. Here's where it gets crazier. The
Hmm.
feedback loops, because life is all about feedback loops, right?
Yup.
Now that you're trying to, just like Dwight said, you're trying to break out of that identity. You're starting to see the cracks. You're starting to see all of the issues in society. You're starting to see how people move, and you're like, I don't really want to move like that. I want to
Yup.
be an artist. I want to be an actor. I want to do all these different things. You're expanding your imagination, but then now all of a sudden you're getting feedback loops from the world telling you that what you're doing is wrong. And because you don't, you're not going to have an identity right now because you're young, you're in
Exactly.
your adolescence age, right? So you're
Yup.
still shaping it up. So now all of those other feedback loops will then come together, and you're going to start to move the way that the world is giving you feedback. So
Yup.
because you're breaking out and now the world is seeing you as an outcast, you're going to
Mhm.
think, shit, I don't want to be an outcast, because men, it's a
Mhm.
status hierarchy. Men want to be at the
Mhm.
highest point of social hierarchies when it comes to status, whether you believe that shit or not. I know a lot of men are like, life isn't about status. Life is about status, right?
Right.
And status doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It's not
Yup.
you being egotistical, buying Bugattis and shit. That's not status.
Right.
But when it comes to being in the hierarchy of value, when it comes to men, once you get into that adolescence age, junior high, really, let's start junior high, right? You
Mhm.
start to see all the popular kids. I'll give you guys a story from my life. Like when I was in junior high school, all the popular kids were playing sports. I was into the piano, I was into all this other shit. I was
Mhm.
into different things, but because I was watching other men or other boys at that time win in athletics, I had
Yup.
to mold my personality into being the jock. And I
Yup.
failed at that because that wasn't necessarily my path, but I had to force it on myself, which I forced in high school. But in junior high school, I got cut, right?
Mhm.
And that was a big fracture in my identity. That was a feedback that told me I'm not good enough, right?
Mhm.
So then that put me into spectator mode. Now I'm watching other people win. I'm watching all the jocks in my junior high school get all the women, and I'm
Yup.
still figuring out. I'm like, why? And
Mhm.
I don't realize that all of those subconscious programmings that I have that are telling me, look, fit into society, try to be able to work up the status hierarchy through the structure that's created by society.
Yup.
That's what's running through my head. So that's where men start to then fall into spectator mode, because now they're like, I gotta watch. I
Mhm.
can't do anything because I don't know. Everything that I do is considered wrong. If I speak out about some specific thing, I get bastardized by teachers. I was
Yup.
questioning the education system when I was in junior high school. I was
Early.
like, why am
Early.
I here? What am I learning? Why am I watching Bill Nye science videos? What the fuck am I gonna do with that shit?
Thanks.
And again, I was stuck just watching
Mhm.
teachers perform in front of me, watching jocks perform in front of me,
Mhm.
watching women perform in front of me,
Mhm.
right? And I would get some glimpses where I would break out of that and I would kind of be on my own, and I would see a little bit of success. I would see more attraction in women, even in junior high school. But
Yup.
then that same feedback loop would still kick in. The same childhood traumas would kick in terms of
Mhm.
always being bastardized for being different.
Yup.
And that would force me to, again, go back to the identity that unfortunately most men have now, which is
Mhm.
spectator.
Mhm.
Watch. Don't do anything because you're afraid of the feedback loop that's coming in. That's why a lot of men are afraid to approach women nowadays. They're afraid of the
Mhm.
mirror. They're afraid of the feedback loop
Mhm.
because when they were in adolescence age, that feedback loop was too harsh.
Yup.
That early rejection they got was way too harsh. It fractured their identity.
Yup.
So you go back to those old patterns. But that's
Mhm.
adolescence. Now we go into teenager or a young adult.
The younger adult, right?
So now what happens? Now that everything's fractured, now you're in spectator mode. What now happens?
You're fully in spectator mode, and not to go switch cadence back to what you were saying a second ago,
Mhm,
but I think there's two roads you go down.
mhm,
You either go down spectator mode, or you go down the jock who identifies himself as the jock for his entire life,
mhm.
right? But then realizes you don't go pro.
No.
So what now? And then they turn into the lone wolves, which are also spectators.
Mhm,
So when you get to this spectator point, it's that you start to almost claim the identity of not good enough. and therefore you never
Mhm.
break out of a different box. So
Mhm.
imagine there's a box that your parents have brought for you, and you understand at your young adolescence that's not the right box. I need
Mhm.
to claim something as my own. You start to, like you said, you watch the Bill Nye. I was totally a National Geographic's kid, right?
Same. Yep.
Watch that shit, animalistic, this, that, the third. And you then refine yourself to understand, okay, cool. These are the things that I actually enjoy, but these are the things that society deems as not worthy.
Mhm.
And so then as you continue, it's the same idea. The feedback loops then become the calcification around that identity, and you keep it. And so then you never approach women. The opportunities come and you never take them. You see the money that you could make, but you're too scared to. So then you fall into a certain archetype, like we've spoken about many times, where it's that lone wolf or the guy who sits in a corner and wants more information over and over and over, right? The hustler who's like, I need, but never then takes deep enough action to truly understand his true self and then
Mhm.
be able to impart that information on people as you and myself do. So, what are you realistically as a young male? You're a full on spectator to the men that then break out and start to operate in the ways that they know fuel their inner selves and the value that then comes out. Because if we were to then discuss and say, okay, cool, the men that are not spectators, what are they?
Mhm.
They're
They're
killers.
players.
Right,
Killers,
like they
players.
actually they get their users. They come into the space and they start to play within the arena.
Mhm.
And then you as a spectator then just become either the cheering fan or the hater. Knowing and all of that stems from because it's all a spectrum, and I'm sure we're going to get this to a second. The polarity spectrum. It's all the same. You hate or love me, you're still watching.
Mhm.
So it's a sense that you're a spectator, and that same feeling of potential is what gives you enough energy to love me or hate me when realistically you could be alongside me
Mhm.
playing within the game. But you've allowed these feedback loops to then become your God. Women don't then give you any time of day. You don't know any play besides the OF fans in corn, right?
We can
So you
talk about
sit
that
there
shit.
in a corner and then you start to believe that this is the only way I'm going to feel masculine. And so you double down on it because society's not giving you the feedback that you're looking for. So now
Mhm.
you've calcified yourself into being a spectator. And so now it's let me find the men that are speaking the things that resonate with me most or talk to my potential the most. And dependent on the tone in which they speak to me, as you see me and Martel, we speak very different. Same
Mhm.
exact thing, very different. You either love us or you hate us.
One of
Why?
the two.
Because tone is dictating how you feel about yourself, but realistically, you're not taking the step into being a user as Martel and myself are. So you
And
then
again,
you
mhm.
you use that you use the tone as us attacking your identity because you've attached to these feedback loops, and now you've just become a full-on spectator.
And a
That's all.
spectator is a feminine trait. That's what you got to understand. And that's why spectators are hyper emotional. When you guys look on YouTube videos and you see haters in the comment section, there's a reason why they're haters. There's a reason why their emotions are inflamed
Yup,
because they're feminine. They've fully embodied the whole feminine thing. And we'll go into like how you can balance both because I think not many people talk about balancing masculine and feminine
for
in your life.
sure,
You need that.
for sure.
But even going behind that in the young adult ages, and I've talked about this multiple times on YouTube, where now you start to get introduced to porn.
Mm,
Now you start to get introduced to something where now you're spectating on something that you want. And now that loop, you get the feedback loop because you feel good. You're like,
mhm.
oh yeah, you trick your whole entire biology into thinking like, oh yeah, I have this woman now. Oh yeah, I'm in school, in high school, I'm not getting any women, but look, on the hub, I'm getting all of them. That's what you're signaling in your body. So then you
Facts.
become lazy because the whole point around sex, the whole point around all of that is for you to take an action, get a feedback loop. The feedback loop is that you successfully were able to have that woman, whether it be sex, whether it not be sex, don't really care about what your values are, to be honest with you. Either way, your goal is to acquire the woman, not in
Yup,
an objective way, just in a human nature way. So
yup.
you go out, you're watching this. Oh yeah, porn. Yeah, yeah, I'm watching it. Oh yeah, a Bella Danger, Mia Khalifa. I know this shit because I used to do this shit.
Facts.
And now you have this relationship with this woman because you can't get a relationship in real life. So now you fall deeper into spectator mode.
Yup.
Now, when it comes to actually taking real action on going out and talking to women, You're in the game, you're scared, your nervous system starts to say, "Oh shit, like I'm in the game now." Imagine you're in a basketball game, you're a spectator. I hate watching fans. I hate watching fans watch basketball, any sports,
Weird.
because they always have an opinion because they have no feedback loops going on.
Mm-hmm.
You put those same fans in that arena, their nervous system gets so fucked up
Shattered.
that they end up saying, I got to go back to the stands. I can't be here. This is not for
Mm-hmm.
me. So it's the same when you start watching this shit at a young adult age. You start to train your nervous system to feel comfortable. The minute that you're in the game now, you're talking to women. Congratulations. But now you're stumbling over your words. Now you're sweating. Now
Yep.
all the shit goes bad. It goes
Yep.
even deeper. Maybe you have your first sexual experience at that age. Now you have premature ejaculation. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
talking about that shit now.
Let's do
Now,
it.
now it takes you 2 seconds because they call it performance anxiety. Why?
Yep.
Because your nervous system is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're in the game. Now it's not just watching the fucking screen and pixels moving
Mm-hmm.
on a screen. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
real. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
fumbling opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the young adult side, which is crazy. And now we go into full on adult. You're in the
Mm-hmm.
real world, which is the arena of life. You're not in the structure of education anymore. Well, you might be because you're in college, but college is different. Now what happens? And I'll let you kind of handle it the way that you see it.
What you get out of once you get out of the young adulthood and you're
Mhm.
jumping into the adult space, you have to now think that the life in which you thought you could live for long periods of time now starts to diminish because now there is no option for you. It's either there, I think there's a strong turning point when you're a male. At a certain point, then you have to understand that you're either going to walk into the arena or walk into the stands. And you're either, and this is a permanent decision that you will inevitably either regret or love, right? You have to make a sharp decision. Personally, for myself, I think it was when I had quit soccer, right?
Mhm.
Soccer was something that I had, again, attached myself to, thinking that, okay, I've played this all my life. I'm pretty good at it. I got a scholarship. And now it's actually time to level up. But then you also have the opportunity to go to Japan, right? And that's when I did the 5 days in darkness.
Yep.
So when I go to Japan now, or I choose to go to Japan, why? Because I understood it's either you jump into a career that's going to leave you in spectator mode, because now you don't take on business because you want to be some athlete. You want to just watch others within the space, right? Because that's what a lot of soccer players do, or a lot of athletes do. Let me watch film. Let me watch the greats, not become the great. The great's watching himself. The great isn't watching other greats all day long, right? He's worrying about how he can evolve into a better player, a better user or person within the arena. And so what I decided to do, I was like, you know what, I'm done with soccer because I'm going to take my life serious now and leave soccer and take that same competitive edge and become a user within life.
Mhm.
Leave soccer, fly to Japan, and do exactly what we're talking about. And we'll get into that in a second. 5 days in darkness in a room and focus on the things that break me out of a spectator mode, right? 5 days, complete darkness, only water to
Great.
awaken that part of me that was dormant or in that spectator mode. So when you enter the life of adulthood as a man, you have to now understand that when you're making this decision, it needs to be a permanent decision. Because what that does is while you're in whatever growth period, initiation is how I like to call it, it forces you to now get to a nervous system neutrality within
Mhm.
the space that you're in. So if
Mhm.
you're a spectator, you're going to then align your nervous system with being a spectator.
Mhm.
Very high highs, very low lows, right? You see it all the time. Their favorite team scores a point. Oh my God, yes. And they scream it and they throw in beer and they do whatever. They lose, head down. That might affect them for the entire week. Why? Because their nervous system is trained to watch other men operate
Mhm.
within an arena and never enter. Not also then realizing that if they were in the arena, they wouldn't be able to do half the shit the losing team did,
Mhm. Mhm.
because the nervous system of users and the nervous system of spectators are so far apart on the on
Yep.
the polarity line that you can't even operate in either space. If you and I were to have to go get a 9 to 5, it wouldn't make sense. We
No.
would be horrible employees. Why? Our nervous system and the way our brains are wired have been cemented now in the decision that we made when we were young men walking into life,
Mhm.
deciding that we are going to forever be a user in this game until we die. It's either
Mhm.
we're going to make the things and the decisions that we want at all times or die.
Mhm.
And the spectator does the same thing. I'm either going to
Mhm.
be a spectator or I'm going to try to operate in the arena and die because my nervous system, and I'm not going to do the things that I need to do while I get into the arena. I'm going to
Mhm.
get into the arena. I'm going to try. It's the same shit that you just said about corn. People watch these things on a digital screen. Women could show them interest in the grocery store, but because they're so addicted to the screen, they don't even see the woman looking at him, right? And even if they did, when she walks up to him and says, "Hey, you smell good. You're attractive. I like the way you walk or whatever. What are you making tonight?" Give him this choosing signals. He doesn't know what the fuck to do because your nervous system is geared towards watching something and playing
Mhm.
with yourself in a corner because of feedback loops you got when you was a kid.
Yeah.
You enter the
Mm.
game fucked up.
And then it gets deeper. The deeper rabbit hole when you get into an adult stage, and this is where I think a lot of men nowadays are falling into this, where they enter a certain arena. And I always compare this to basketball, sports in general, because I think people will understand this better. Imagine you get in, you
Mhm.
have a regional tournament, right?
Yep.
You play in that regional tournament. You feel good because now you're winning in the regional tournament. You now get into maybe semifinals, whatever, right? You get into the
Right.
next stage. Your nervous system gets fucked up because now you move into the next stage. You're competing against bigger and better players. You're
Mhm.
not ready for it. So now you say, no, I want to go back to regionals. I want to go right back to regionals. And I see that with it, this is adult life now.
Yeah.
As you're taking certain responsibilities, higher responsibilities, you have to train your nervous system to compete at that level.
Mhm.
So let's say you come in, and a lot of you guys have come in and you're like, okay, look, I'm gonna get jacked. I'm gonna go into the gym, I'm gonna train. This is me, right? I went, got in shape when I was in college, but I stayed there, right? I stayed in that space because it was comfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm not a spectator because a lot of you guys might say, "Oh, Marta, I'm not a spectator. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing this. I'm doing that." Great. You've just solved the base layer of life. Congratulations. You, you beat level one. There's a
Facts.
hundred levels to life, by the way, but you beat level one.
Yeah.
Now to go to level two, you're scared because now it's like shit. I'm in shape now, but now I got to go talk to women. Oh no,
Mhm.
that's too hard because my nervous system's not ready to get the feedback loop. Because the gym is primal. The gym is easy. Gym is super super easy for you to do.
Baseline.
You get those initial feedback loops because when you first start the first 3 months, okay, you start to see growth. You see growth. You see growth. You look at yourself in the mirror. You feel good. Now you want your nervous system to stay where it's at because
Mhm.
now it's precious to you. You don't want to break it. You don't want to feel the uncomfortability of going in now to talk to women. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
There's some people who finally started to talk to women. Great. That might be something that a lot of men struggle with. Fine. But now the next step is the business side. And a lot of men don't want to go the business route because now you're playing in the championship games. They
Mhm.
don't want to go to content creation side. They don't want to start making videos like we're doing on YouTube right now
Mhm.
because the nervous system is too much. When you get feedback from people in real time telling you that you suck, telling you that, oh, this was a shitty video, telling you that, oh, I don't want to buy from you from this product, you enter fight or flight mode. You go right back to comfort because now your nervous system is anchored towards the lower levels of life.
Mhm.
You get that woman that rejects you, that cheats on you, that does all of that shit. You go right back to fight or flight mode. You go
Yep.
right back to where you currently were.
Yep.
And I think his name is Rainey or Ronnie. He said it right. It's natural selection. Kill or be killed.
Yep.
That's how life is as a man. And again, cucks don't like that shit.
Nope.
Cucks like to stay alive, and we all want to stay alive, of course. But there's some people who are risk takers. There's some people who will go out and do shit that's uncomfortable to them. But there's some people who would rather sit back, watch other people fail, watch other people. And by the way, you don't fail at life until you die. And honestly, even death isn't a failure.
Nope.
So now you watch other people, you hope that they fail because now that could have been you. It's not you. Nervous system stays good. You're all
Mhm.
good. You're in the same place. You're still hidden depressed because you're
Mhm.
like, fuck, I'm in the same place now. Fuck, I'm not making money, but I'm watching this 19-year-old kid make X hundreds of thousands of dollars a month doing some shit that I could do.
Yep.
I'm watching some guy cold approach 100 women and getting a bunch of numbers, but I don't want to step in the arena and try that shit. I don't want to go
Mhm.
talk to women. Women don't like me. All women are bad. No, that's a feedback loop that who you are is not good enough to be in that arena, which means you go back to practice.
Mhm.
But then there comes the problem. A lot of men go back to practice and they stay in
Stay there.
practice. So in business, you go try a business, that shit fails. We both have had businesses that have failed, for
Yes.
sure. It happens.
Yes.
But there's a lot of men who are like, fuck, my first business failed. Let me go right back to practice. Let me start
Mhm.
doing drills. And then you stay in practice because it's comfortable. You know
Mhm.
what everything's predictable. You know what's gonna happen. Your nervous
Mhm.
system's like, oh yeah, I get this game. This is easy. No fight or flight here.
Mhm.
And you refuse to go step back into the real arena that you know that you want to go to.
Mhm.
The real arena of relationships that you knew you wanted to go to, the real arena of business that you knew you wanted to go to, the real arena of content creation, YouTube, whatever your heart's desire is,
Yep.
public speaking, writing a fucking book,
Mhm.
all of these things, the higher levels of arenas in life require massive feedback loops that will tax your nervous system. But that's why you go back to practice with the intent of I'm gonna take what I learned in practice and I'm gonna apply that shit to the game.
Mhm.
That's how it works.
Yep.
A lot of people say stuck. They're like practice. All right, two ball drills. Great. That's what I was doing. I love
Mhm.
practice when I was playing basketball. I didn't like the games because the
Mhm.
games exposed me. When we
Mhm.
play against the best player, the best team in the state with the best player in the state, I'd be like, shit. I'd be like,
Facts.
I want to go back to practice.
Facts.
But then when you start playing against those people and you start, yeah, you fail a little bit, you get a few turnovers, airball a free throw because you get nervous. The next
Mhm.
game gets better. You look at
Yep.
Kobe, his first shot that he ever took in the NBA was a fucking airball.
Mhm.
A lot of y'all don't want to go through that phase of airballing in life. You have to. It's a
Facts.
spiritual requirement for you to go through. It's a rite of passage for all men to do what it is that their heart desires,
Mhm.
but do it in a way that makes sense. Do it in a way where even if you fail, you will come back, get better, you'll keep going. But again, everybody wants to be a cuck now. Everybody wants to be that guy who's in the background that's watching,
Mhm.
that's letting people just go right by them, watching other people play championship games, watching other people come back, practice, get better. They're still in practice. They're wondering, man, why is my bank account here?
Yep.
Why don't people notice me?
Yep.
Why is life fucked up? It's because of the fucking Matrix. The Matrix doesn't exist. You're the Matrix. Your
You are.
internal state is the fucking Matrix. What are we
It's
talking about?
facts. It's
Y'all
facts.
let a bald headed motherfucker tell you the Matrix
And they ran with it.
and you ran with it and now you're in his Matrix? Now you're a spectator of watching him. Again, no hate on Andrew Tate. I like Andrew Tate.
For
He's a cool
sure.
kid.
Cool
But I got
cat.
to use him as an example because I see a lot of men falling into watching all of these people and not going after what it is that you want to go after. I love that y'all watch this. I love the support, but I would much rather love seeing y'all in real life and respecting you guys in real life. Because I'll be
Mhm.
honest, and this is going to hurt a lot of people. If I saw some of you guys in real life, I wouldn't inherently respect you,
For sure.
regardless of the support that you give. I would love you because you support, but I want to see y'all win.
Mhm.
And to win, you have to get in the arena.
Mhm.
If you met, if not you, but if the people in here, a lot of them probably idolize Andrew Tate, maybe not. If you went and met him, he wouldn't give a fuck about you.
Wouldn't speak to you.
You probably wouldn't even have the opportunity to meet him because what have you done in life? You're not a player. You're a spectator.
Sure. Users usually only respect other users.
Yes.
Is because we and now we could tap into the spiritual piece, the frequency piece,
Mhm.
because that's literally what it is. It's not a what you just said was perfect, and all of you shouldn't take it as a hit or a piece
No.
of slight to your identity. No, you have to understand frequencies to a certain degree, right? The reason why we even if we talk about our origin story, how we met,
Mhm.
it was a frequency thing. It wasn't
Mhm.
a oh Who the fuck are you? No,
Mhm,
it was like, okay, cool. What are your thought process in this area? What are
mhm,
my thought process in this area? Oh, okay, all right. What is you're doing here? Oh, yeah, you're doing that too. Okay, cool. So it's understanding that each of us have gone on our individual journeys to
mhm,
overcome this cup pipeline, to overcome the feedback loops that wanted us to be a spectator, and we're meeting each other at face to face and saying, okay, cool. I see you, you see me, because we've both gone through the same challenges in different styles of life. So now
mhm,
we can actually communicate. And
mhm.
as you then continue the frequency, it's something where you have to also understand it has to keep going.
Yeah.
There are certain things that you and I go through that we'll speak about, and it's a yo, shift this and do
Mhm,
this.
mhm,
You've done it to me, I've done it to you.
mhm,
And that's the ability to take criticism from other users, being that the two of you are going through hurdles within the same fucking arena. If
mhm,
I was a spectator and my nervous system was geared to just watching, you wouldn't be able to give me the feedback because I would have thought you're slighting my identity. And
mhm,
therefore, what does that then make? Your life 10 times harder, along with
mhm,
bringing the frequency of for you to uphold to keep the cash flow, keep the
mhm,
abundance, keep the structure or that duality between masculine and feminine energies that we talked about earlier about the mom and dad that would fail that you had to now build within yourself. That would start to falter because your frequency has to be at a certain level to keep those optimal so that you can continue progressing as a user within the arena. The second you then take your time to try to build up a spectator hand in hand in
mhm,
person, it doesn't work. One of
mhm,
those things, even like I'll give you you all an example that me and Martel had the other day. We were speaking about gym going, right?
mhm,
I do jujitsu. He was into kickboxing and is into boxing, right? So two different combat, but also we're in the arena doing it. I
mhm.
move out of the place that I was in and was struggling to find a BJJ place to practice, right, and to continue my strengthening. Martel says to me, whether he knew it or not, tells me about, yo, the gym is the baseline for us.
Mhm.
That's just what it is. And I already inherently know that as I am one of the users and have all these other things that I have to do in real life. You say that to me and you said, bro, the gym is the baseline, which then sparks my brain to say, you're fucking right.
Mhm.
Why the hell haven't you just gone to go do rolling with another gym that may not be the one that you came from, but just do it in the intro until you find the one that you want? What are you playing this game where it's like go harder in the gym to make up for that's our baseline.
Mhm.
So then I go out and go find the gym. And then you say, yo, now it's also time for you to gear it up in this way.
Mhm.
Right. And then that's how users operate with it. Our friendship is more of like a frequency check and balance. Like every
Mhm.
time we get on the phone, it's a check and balance. And you have to understand that when you meet the people that you listen to, you have to also understand that when you go into real life and meet these users, that's exactly what's going to happen. So if you are a spectator, prepare your entire structure and frame of how you understand life to be shattered or be left. And that's where you might hear us say, if you continue to be a spectator, you're going to die in the long run. And it's not literal death, right? It might be
Spiritual death.
enslavement, but it's spiritual death. You lose yourself, you lose your values, you lose your ability to hear your own voice, you lose your ability to connect with other users that will amplify your own essence. So you have to know that. You have to have checks and balances. You have to have the ability to go up to these other users with full confidence that I've gotten over 1,000 hurdles that they also have gone through so I can meet them at the frequency so I don't shatter my own reality and he doesn't waste his time and vice versa. It's always an improvement game, whether you like
Yeah.
it or not. Natural selection, as we said a second ago, if we were all put in outside natural selection, how it really is, most of us ain't coming back alive, bro.
I
Why?
can't wait for that canon event, bro. I've been waiting for actual chaos in the world forever because it exposes
Please.
everybody.
It's
And and,
literally.
and, and that's the problem I have with men nowadays too, including myself at a certain point where because I say all these things and I don't want y'all to think that I'm coming after just you. I'm speaking to also my old self where it was like
Facts.
the arrogance that you have, and it's not even good arrogance, it's just stupid arrogance where you believe that all of life should be handed to you because you just exist. Like, oh, women should be talking to me. Why aren't women talking to me? Why are women just moving away? Why am I not getting women to want to have dates with me? Why are they rejecting me? Or why is that guy that I watched? I hit him up. He didn't want to hit me up. I had the same shit happen to me when I was coming up. I thought, oh yeah, if I hit up these top guys in the industry, they're gonna want to talk to me. And if they don't talk to me, they're dickheads. They're assholes. No, they're not.
Facts.
They're players. I'm a spectator. So what do I have to do? I have to practice. I have to
Yep.
get in some games, some regional games, because
Mm-hmm.
they're all practicing at the championship level. What the
Mm-hmm.
fuck is the point of them talking to a regional player when they're LeBron doesn't want to talk to somebody who's still in the AAU like high school circuit unless they're phenoms going to the NBA.
Yep.
If they've proven themselves,
Yep.
LeBron's going to talk to other NBA players.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of men who they want to talk to NBA players. They want to have the NBA experience, but they practice like they're a regional, like just recreational player.
Yep.
Now you're wasting the person who's playing's time. You're wasting your time because you have this delusional belief that now you deserve everything. You fall
Mm-hmm.
into these bullshit ideologies like red pill. Again, I
Mm-hmm.
like the red pill to a certain extent, but I do know that it's dragged men into spectator mode because
Mm-hmm.
now men are saying, okay, fuck the dating pool. Don't want to be there. It's too
Mm-hmm.
hard. Women are bad. This and that. Then they
Mm-hmm.
go in and they're like, oh, life is hard. Uh, Why is life like this? The government's after me. The government's not after you. You're fucking broke.
Why the fuck would they come after you?
You're not in the league. What are we talking about? I had the same realization. I had to like check myself like, bro, you're not playing at a high enough level for you to even matter in society.
Literally.
Which again sounds bad, but that is the art of being a man because
Yep, it is.
when you start winning, you start fucking winning.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody who can take those wins. There's nobody who can take those championship belts from you.
Mm-hmm.
You earned it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool part. Yeah, we struggle a lot. Yeah, being a man is hard. The identity of a man. Why? There's some men they genuinely should just have a sex change. I genuinely think there's some men just go ahead and change because that's who you've been. You're being a woman at this point. You want everything handed to you. You want to meditate. You want to sit there. You want to fucking manifest yourself on a yacht with a billionaire. Go do that. Go get a sex change and go do that. Or you can get in the game.
Yep.
You can learn the game. You can go through the struggles. You can go through the humiliation. I've had
Mm-hmm.
humiliation happen many times. Got cut
Very good.
in eighth grade. Had my company fail in front of everybody, had
Mm-hmm.
investors that believed in me with money, and I was nervous at the time. Shit was hard. Had that shit fail, went broke, had an eviction, had my car repo. I had all these embarrassing things happen.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's a part of life. I keep
Mm-hmm.
playing the game. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of y'all don't even want to step in the game. You want to be cheerleaders, aka women. You want to be cheerleaders. You want to go, yeah, and then get
Mm-hmm.
picked up by a player.
Facts.
That's not how it
Facts.
works.
And the thing that you said, the ability to keep going after you hit those places, right?
Mhm.
Action. Like this manifestation we talk about all the time. This manifestation, oh, namaste, sitting outside and doing all this other shit when it's not connected to
Do that.
action is
Do that shit.
delusion.
Mhm.
You're fucking delusional. You sit
Mhm.
there, you just what? You want to pray all day and sit and think that if I sit right here, it's just logical. If I sit right here and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray, hold my crystals, burn sage, do all sorts of chants and shit, that my environment in this house is going to lift up above me and I'm going to end up in a different destination. Is that possible? Absolutely not. You have to charge yourself spiritually, like we all already
Mhm.
understand, and then
Mhm.
bring the same energetic charge into material because you live in a material world.
Mhm.
So your ability to bounce back from these things, on the outside looking in, you could say, yeah, all these terrible things happened and I manifest this life that I live now. When realistically, if we go back to the user analogies, when you walk into the arena of being a user, all of
Mhm.
it is based with an execution. Learning and executing. Things happen, things fail. You learn from that failure. You use that as fuel to keep executing, right?
Mhm.
No matter how hard it is. And then it just calcifies around you to now, again, bring your nervous system back intact because I've survived the hardest things. And most men won't survive, but you keep moving forward anyways with the same energetic charge that you had spiritually as you went through these things.
And here's some, by the way, I'm gonna answer some of these. It says, is the link? Yeah, his channel link is in the description. The live will be posted after this. Absolutely, it's not gonna disappear. But going back to this, because I think this is very important. Spirituality, this whole meditation stuff, this whole law of attraction, all of these things are like accelerators.
Yep.
I'm not sitting here saying it's all bullshit because it's not. I've experienced it
Right.
firsthand. This shit is real.
100%.
But they're accelerators. For example, I'll give people a crystal clear example.
Got it.
Doing meditation, doing manifestation without action is like going to a recovery room, going to a red light therapy room without ever playing anything, without ever competing, without ever going to the gym, without ever breaking yourself down. You're now trying to figure out how to do foam rolling, how to go into the red light therapy room, how to go and do cupping and all of this extra shit. That stuff works when you're a player in the game. It
Literally.
doesn't work when you're a spectator. That's the thing. All these, I know a lot of these spiritual channels are popping up right now, and it's great. But you got to understand that you need to be a player in the game so that you can use those things to accelerate the progress. We talk about the identity shit, we talk about all of these things. Yes, it's very important. But you will never ever evolve in life, even if you know all of the esoteric shit, even if you know all the spiritual shit, if you're not getting feedback loops in life.
Fact.
That's what it is. It's a multiplier.
Fact.
It's a multiplier to the feedback loops you have, the trauma, the healing. Again, that shit is real. I'm going to talk a lot about that stuff, but that only applies to the guy who's been taking action. That's why you see a lot of billionaires now go out and they go into meditative retreats and all that shit. Yes, because they've taxed their nervous system enough, they've broken themselves down with action enough, and now they go recover. But again, a lot of the manifestation gurus will sell you that shit backwards. Why? Because they want to sell you some shit. You're probably the wrong demographic for them, but they're still selling to you anyway.
Yep.
They'll teach you, yes, sit in a room, visualize what you want, and it will manifest, it will come to you. This is how I manifested $1 billion. No, you manifested $1 billion by selling other idiots fucking manifestation. That's how you manifested $1 billion. Let's be real.
Facts. Facts.
But again, it all goes back, fellas. I'm telling you guys this. It's action, it's feedback loops, it's stepping in the arena, doing shit that's uncomfortable. You don't make money right now. I dare all of you guys watching this shit right now to get a sales job. All of you.
Yep.
I dare everybody who's watching this shit right now. If you feel like you're not making the money you want to make, go get a sales job. One, you'll learn that you cannot communicate very well because we all were like that when we first started sales. I'm not speaking from a place of I'm higher up. I was the same way. I did door-to-door sales. That was my first ever fucking job. Fumbling over my words, not understanding people. You learn feedback loops. You learn, you grow. Start with that. You can't talk to women, man. Go to a fucking club. I don't care where you go and go approach everybody. Go talk to all the women that are cashiers, even women you don't even fucking think are attractive. Talk to them and watch how you still fumble over your words.
Yep.
Take the action steps. Get in the game. What's the point of sitting there? What are we doing?
The when you expose the sales game, see, that's the piece, that's the big piece we like to now. I mean, now we could get into it now because
Yeah.
now that you brought up sales,
Yeah.
that's the doorway into the very life that you asking for. Everything you desire has to be some sort of value exchange, right? And so if you're telling people, because realistically, the value exchange is you're getting money for the value that you give, but your value that you give has to fill the value gap. So someone's at A, they're trying to get to B. You come along, identify the gap, and your value sits there, and they give you money for this board that gets them from A to B. But your ability to speak and touch the pain points of the people sitting at A because you've made it to B, because you already understand how to get from A to B, has to be iterated in a way that they feel it. Everyone has pain points. Users have pain points. Spectators have pain points. If you haven't broken out of your little shell that your parents gave you, or the feedback loops that your adolescents taught you, or the feedback loops that you got when you were a young male, the sales will explain that to you. Because the second you jump into sales, not only are you going to trip over words, but your lack of experience in life is going to expose that you don't know people's pain points that you
Mhm.
claim you're looking to serve. And it's just like how these people, these spiritual folk do it. They give you all of this grandized things about manifestation and spirituality because they understand that if they were to be put in a position to actually sell and scale to people that need to get from A to B, they couldn't, because they can't talk about the individual pain points of that person because they haven't done it themselves. And so they mask over with spirituality because it's the easiest thing to do. Think
Oh
about
yeah,
religion.
it's
Who's going to
easy
question
because
you?
now bro, that's the whole. Y'all gotta understand, and a lot of you guys are very new to the whole online space. The thing with
Mhm.
spirituality that's interesting is it's so easy to sell because if it doesn't work, you blame it on the other person. There's no accountability for yourself. There's none,
Zero.
right? There's zero accountability with that. So it's easy to sell. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll help you manifest $1 million, but if you don't manifest $1 million in a year, it's because you didn't visualize hard enough.
Yep.
Your frequency was way too low, so you didn't align with that. So yeah, you didn't get that. Sorry for you. No refunds. Done. That's how that shit works. And going off of I'm gonna call out Montana. Here's the problem, bro. You say I can sell jobs on Facebook Marketplace easy. You know what the fucking problem is? I can. You're a can, shoulda, woulda, coulda
Supposed to.
type of motherfucker. Like you don't want to be that. And I'm not saying I don't know what your situation is, but I hate seeing the I can, the unrealized potential. That should have literally said I sell jobs on Facebook Marketplace easy.
Precisely. Precisely.
Not I can. Yeah, you can, but have you? Will you? Are you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's the problem, bro. Like everybody is in that phase. And again, I said sales. Dwight said sales. Why do we say that, right? Because when it comes to attraction, the first step is getting in shape. That's step one. When it comes to money, the first step is sales.
Yep.
When it comes to anything else you want in life, there's always a first step. When it comes to even getting spiritually enlightened, if that's what you want, you've already gotten the money, you've already gotten all of that. The first step is just sitting silent in meditation for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a first step to everything. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is you cannot stay at step one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. You cannot stay at step one.
Right. They
Everybody
take
does that shit.
because they take the settling,
Hmm.
the settler archetype,
Hmm.
right? They sit there and they're like, yo, I'm gonna baseline myself against people within society or men within society. Right? So they say that, if I'm doing better than society with step one, then maybe step one is where I'm gonna stay. Because at least I'm not doing what the mediocre folk are doing. But you're the problem. Because real users and real killers and people within sales and within the arena verify you as the baseline. Like we don't ever want to be here we never want to be at step one. People that are within the game and always looking to improve and excel and become the best within whatever they're doing never want to stay at base one. And a lot of men just think because they're doing better than average and average is mediocre that they're okay.
Hmm.
So you're basically saying that you're doing the things that you should already be doing if everything was fine and neutral. That like how does that make you superior? It doesn't. And then you look for the amplification of your mediocrity and think you're going to blast up to $1 million, think you're going to get the bread that you're looking to get, right? Looking you're going to be a beast in sales. That didn't even make any sense.
That's the thing. Exactly. And I think another thing is men expect equality in a place that it's not. I think somebody said one word democracy. You know what's crazy? There's some truth to that, but I think when you want to excel, you have to embrace meritocracy. You can't embrace democracy. Because I think right now in society we live in democracy. Democracy is all about equality. There is no such thing as being equal. We are not all equal.
No.
And here's the cool part about it. We're all unequal in the best possible way. There may be some shit that one of you guys can do that both of us can't do.
Hmm.
Maybe you know art or some shit, or maybe you understand some shit that's a lot better than somebody else. Okay, now you capitalize on that. Capitalism.
Hmm.
Capitalism. People hate capitalism because it's a meritocracy. Are you good or are you shit? It's one of the two.
Exposes you.
A lot of men don't want to get into sales because it's like shit. Now it's meritocracy. Am I good or am I not? So no,
Hmm.
you go back to the 9 to 5 job because it's a democracy in the
Hmm.
9 to 5 world. Everyone gets a steady salary.
Hmm.
Everybody comes in 9 hours a day or 8 hours a day, whatever the fuck it is now. Everybody gets the same sick days.
Hmm.
Everybody gets all the same shit. Yes, it's equal. It's comfortable. That's, by the way, if you guys want to talk about the system, that's what the system wants. Equality. It
Yeah.
wants you to stay at the same place. What is equality? That means everybody is at an average base scale. Why the
Hmm.
fuck would you want to be average? And it's not about you overworking yourself. It's about figuring out, okay, what are my unique advantages for how I grew up? What are some things that I know? What are some insights that I know? What are some proclivities that I have that are better than other people?
Hmm.
That's what they don't want you to think about. They, who's they? The media, the people who are taking money from you, the government that wants to take money from you in taxes. They don't want you to understand the tax system.
Hmm.
You guys think this shit is equal? Look at the tax system. There is nothing equal about the fucking tax system at all.
Zero.
Nothing. We're in a jungle, exactly like Rainey says, jungle. And it's like you either kill or you get killed.
Be killed.
And that's the greatest shit ever because it's a feedback loop. Shit. I'm not strong enough. Got to get better. And getting better is not about putting in more work because I think a lot of men nowadays they think it's the hustler mindset, the grind set mindset. Let me just grind it out. Imagine you're driving on a highway. You're going 100 miles an hour in the opposite fucking direction you're supposed to.
Hmm.
Who does that benefit? It makes you feel good because you're going fast.
Hmm.
And then when you end up in the destination, you're like, fuck, this is the wrong destination. I
Yep.
would rather go precise, steady in the right direction and make miles of improvement over time and get
Yep.
to my desired destination than speed. The whole point around this is congruency.
Yep.
You have to be congruent. Okay, who am I? What am I good at? What am I uniquely capable of? I think there was somebody who had mentioned something before. They were like, I'm gonna see that too, because that message was unless you have something real quick. I'm gonna look at this while
Um,
you say it.
No, I think you hitting it right on the nail. You got to keep it aligned with where you're going, and it has to come from a place of value and depth that you find within yourself. Once you get rid of all the feedback loops of what people think you should and should not be doing, right? Like letting go of the identity that people place onto you will help you open up yourself to leaving that box and creating your own box. And when you then realize you have to create from the rubble,
Mhm,
but when you create from the rubble, you're creating from your true essence, from your value, from your place of value. That's where you get the true abundances that you're looking for. Because the second you start to build a structure that's true to who you are, I don't have to then filter myself to what the world
mhm,
wants me to be. Right? I come on here authentically me. You come on your socials authentically you. Why? Because you understand that once you break out of these feedback loops and the perceptions of others, you then get to build from a place of truth. There
mhm,
is something called the truth. There's your truth, my truth, and then the truth. And when
mhm,
you sit there and all three truths are surrounded around your value that you see, right? And you can take yourself into isolation and say, this is how I'm going to build, this is who I want to become, and I'm going to become it. And you build your structure around there. That is when your abundance starts to flow at a level that you could never imagine, because no longer are you putting these filtration of other people's perception of what you should and should not be in between you and your blessing, so to say, or you and the feminine energy of abundance and
mhm,
Cath, right?
mhm.
So what did you find at the what
There's
did you
one guy. I'm gonna start from the very beginning. This guy said, and by the way, if you guys have questions, go ahead and throw the questions down there.
for sure?
This one guy said, I hate when people do this shit. What do you think about Myron Gaines?
Is that fresh and fit, folk?
I can speak on that a little bit.
Go ahead.
So I don't intentionally like hating on people, but the reality is he's not real. Myron Gaines is an illusion. It is a fake persona that is on the internet to sell you on your own struggles as a man, to make you have rage, to bait you into literally doing the shit that's going to make him more money. You can see that shit now. His entire shit's collapsing. He was talking about, oh yeah, all women need to be traditional. They can't be going to the clubs, yet your girlfriend's going to the club. Oh yeah, like women, you can't be with you. You have to fuck 100 women for you to be a man. And it's like, okay, but then you want a traditional woman, right? So yeah, you fuck 100 women, but then you want a woman who's traditional. You can't have that. If every man did the same shit, all women would literally not have their virginity. So he's the same type of person who's pushing completely different ideologies to how his life is, completely incongruent.
Mhm.
And you can see that shit. You can see the inaccuracies in everything that he says, from his life to the fruit. For me, it's the fruit of your life. That is how I judge people. What
Mhm.
does your life look like?
Mhm.
If your life is shit, you're wrong. You talked about the truth, Dwight. Again, my take is the truth is malleable. The
Mhm.
truth is whatever gets you ahead ethically.
Mhm.
If somebody's coming on the internet talking about women, but that was the first relationship they've ever been in. He literally said, I've never been in a relationship before.
Mhm.
You got with a woman, you paid her to be with you. You never had sex with a woman at all, if that's his prerogative, but apparently you have to fuck 100 women. What are we doing?
Right.
You're
Right.
why would you listen to somebody like that? Oh yeah, now he has Fresh and Fit. He has a room full of OnlyFans women. Why? Why? Because that allows for him to show that his truth is the truth by just
Mhm.
changing the way that the truth is seen, changing how it's represented. So, yes, of course, if you have a room of OnlyFans women, of course you're going to have women who are fucking horrible.
Literally.
So then you push the idea that all women are bad. All
Mhm.
women are, what does he call bimbos? No,
Right.
you're the bimbo.
Literally. You can't. First of all, the internet is a fucking imaginary place. Like, number one, whoever asked that question, I want you to fully accept the fact that the internet is not the real world. For y'all to understand that that's not a place that, well, perception is reality, one.
Mhm,
And so when you understand that as a user, you use it to your advantage,
mhm,
especially on a place like the internet. A lot of you aren't going to meet Martell in real life. You're not going to meet me in real life, right? So what you have is this internet connection we have. So when we start to speak or showcase our lives, you have to believe whatever I'm showcasing because realistically, you won't be able to find me, right? And so you have to take that as truth. But then there are users that meet each other in real life and they get exposed. And what I like to say is that lies can't stand within the heat of the truth for too long, right? Your identity can only handle so much truth when it's built on lies. So when you sit there and you speak and you go on and you go on and you go on and you go on about other different types of topics and what the perception that you're giving off with all these OnlyFans people around you to amplify the truth that you're trying to give off, when that then gets confronted with real life and how your actions then add up to the things that come out of your mouth, you spoke about congruency. That's all the spectator has to do, or the person who's watching has to do. Look for the congruency line. Does
mhm.
everything that's saying match up with the life that this person is showcasing? If not, then no.
100%.
Then like it's not real. And you have to get to that space where, okay, cool. Not all women are shit. You go into Target in the fucking sugar scrub aisle and you see a fine shit over there, maybe three, four of them, and you walk up to them. Most of them are looking to be led, but you've plagued your mind with these red pill folk telling you that women are shit because they're showing you a panel of OnlyFans. So they're pushing off the perception in your mind that all women are shit. So now you run with it. Now you go into Target. There's five gorgeous women that are looking to be led by a man of structure, and you think that they're gonna fuck you over. And much less you then adopt the red pill identity. So therefore, you never work on yourself long enough to understand your structure and why women never come to you. And so then the feedback loop thing happens where you go up to these women, maybe, maybe not. And when you go up to them and they reject you, you're like, yep, all women are shit. They must be true. And then you run back to YouTube and you watch these folk that talk about how women are bullshit with OnlyFans women around them. See how the light, how truth can be manipulated to then configure your mind into the way that they want it to be. So not only do you pay them, but then you live a life that is along the same lines as their influence. And then you fuck up your life by doing so. So
Yep.
you have to wake up to those realities.
I think that this is a good one because you mentioned structure a few times, and I think somebody asked a question. It was later on, but we can get to that right now.
Mhm.
How to set up your foundation properly? That's been asked a lot. And how do you set up your structure, like your base?
You want to answer that, or you want me to go?
That's you. That's your world.
Uh, Listen, structure is one of those easy. How do you build it from ground zero? Was the question. If you're taking your foundation and you realize that it's not of up to par or up to where you want it to be, the first thing is to shatter your reality, right? You can do that in several ways. You can do it by overload with value,
Mhm.
right? If you're looking to get women, but you know that you suck at women, then you need to go up to every woman, child, and everything just to speak, to get your words correct. Can you speak in front of human beings, period? Right? So there's that foundation with women if it's fucked up. So now it's like you need to get in front of people to engage yourself in conversation that may be uncomfortable because the people are strangers. Speak to everybody. Right? The next thing is if you realize you want to be like you have to identify what you want to be. See your problem, isolate it, understand the loop that you might be plagued in, kind of like how I just talked about the perception is truth. Figure out where that's coming from, and then uh uh you kill it by not feeding it, right? So if I were to give you an analogy in life, there's black, there's white, there's gray. The gray die. Why? Because they're not decisive enough to pick a side. So when you're looking to build your foundation, you have to pick a side. Where do you want to be first? That's such an in-depth question of how you build your structure from ground zero. You must first understand where is it that you're looking to be. Once you understand what you're looking to be, take every decision as either forging or pushing you into a specific side or a specific identity. And as you make these decisions on a daily basis, you then either are on the black side or you're on the white side, which either means you're in the identity that you're trying to leave or you're taking on the new identity that you want to become. So when you start to think of every decision, I mean every decision, the time you wake up, the things you eat, how hard you train, when you're at the gym and you're tired, do you skip a rep that you know you should have hit or skip a set that you know you should have done? All of these things add up and compound into a specific identity. And when you can identify the identity that you want and you then make the correct decisions that force you into that new identity, there your foundation is then set because now you understand exactly the decisions you should make every single time. Does it fuel me toward the new identity that I said I wanted, or does it degrade me into my old self that I'm trying to leave? That's it. That's literally the basis of structure. It's all about the decisions you make on a day-to-day basis, every second of the day, no matter how minute.
Well said. Well said. Next one we got. Oh, this is shout out to Wes, man. We went to school together at Babson College. He's in the arena. He's public speaker doing his thing. He said, I agree about the feminine energy needed for transformation. However, how do we help men learn radical accountability and responsibility? So I can touch on that. Like the problem is we're trying to help men learn radical accountability. It's not something that somebody else has to help you learn. You have to be accountable for yourself. You have to know what it is that you want. You have to know what it takes to get what it is that you want. Responsibility. You have to know that every single thing you do, with every action comes a reaction. With everything that you do comes a consequence, positive or negative consequence. Doesn't matter. Something is going to happen. So when it comes to helping men learn radical responsibility and accountability, it's all about helping them understand that every single choice that you make from day one, from the present moment, will always impact the future. The future doesn't exist. The past also doesn't exist. Believe it or not, the
Facts.
present exists, and the future is a sum of all of the present moment actions that you take.
Yep.
So, for example, you want to go have sex with 100 women with no condom, you're gonna have a child. That's your accountability for doing the fuck shit that everyone's telling you to do. You wanna you want to go watch porn and you want to go do all that. Okay, great. You're gonna be limp dick. You're gonna have basically premature ejaculation. You're gonna fold in front of every woman that you see. You're gonna shake. You're gonna not feel like yourself. You're gonna feel empty inside spiritually. You're gonna drain yourself to some pixels. That's the reaction to that present moment action that you took.
Yep.
And we can go down the line with a bunch of shit. You want to wake up, you want to just go to a 9 to 5 job, great. Just know that every single day that you do that and you're not doing a 5 to 9, which means building something alongside that,
Mhm.
in the future tense, you're
Mhm.
going to remain in the same place. You're going to be miserable and you're going to wonder why life, inflation is fucking you over. Because
Mhm.
I'll be honest with y'all, I understand 9 to 5 may be some people's reality and that's what they want to do, but also understand that while your salary is fixed, inflation's going up.
Yep.
While your salary is fixed, inflation is going up. I said that shit again because I want people to understand that. As you're doing the same exact shit at your job, the same actions that you're taking, you're not increasing your value, you're not learning anything new. You're going to be replaced by AI. Not trying to scare none of you guys, that's just the reality. You're going to be replaced because there's no value at that point. You're a cog in a machine. Just insert another cog that works more efficient than you that they don't have to pay.
Yep.
Nobody wants to fucking pay you. That's what a lot of men don't understand when they're at these jobs. They think these companies want to pay them. They're
Yep.
trying not to pay you. And you're literally fighting for them to pay you every single month.
Fact.
That's just what it is. So yeah, when you talk about radical accountability, it's just knowing that everything that I do, there is something that happens. Everything. And it all has to be positive to go towards what it is that I want. I don't need to teach somebody radical accountability and responsibility. I just need to tell you that shit. And
Yep.
if that doesn't wake you up, you were fucked to begin with. You're done. It's all good.
Big time. Big time. You also have to have that internal ability to do it yourself, right? There are going to be periods where you're alone. And
Hmm.
so somebody said they wish they had people like this in person. Some of the things that you have to then like realize is that you're not going to have the opportunity to have real killers at your side every single day, but still have to step into the war yourself. So that means that you have to be able to do it alone for a period of time until you begin to realize that a lot of us are spread out, where a lot of the people that you want to meet are too far to meet every day. So you have to now do it within yourself and know that you don't necessarily need accountability from other people, but you need accountability for your own fucking actions every single day and be able to calibrate that and have a system to calibrate it. And that's all based on, like you said, your decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis, second by second, decision by decision. Think, does it bring you to where you want to be or degrade you? And that's the accountability system right there. And when you don't do what you're supposed to do, then it's either you punish yourself or the world's going to punish you, whether you realize it or not. Like it's going to show you the way. The universe will always balance itself out. So you go ahead and fuck around because you're going to find out. Right.
And that's the craziest part. I'll touch on that too because I know there's a lot of men that are like, I wish I had men who were ambitious around me. The reality is, to have those types of ambitious men around you, you yourself also have to be ambitious because you're not going to be somebody who's just dead weight that they have to drag around. You
Yep.
have to build your value so that you're not dead weight to people.
Yep.
There's a lot of men nowadays that are literally dead weight to their families, they're dead weight to the women that they're around, they're dead weight to their friends that they even have.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. And that's the thing. It's not a democracy, it's meritocracy. You build your value, people will recognize your value, they'll want to be around you. Everything is opportunity for people.
Yep.
Everyone is selfish by nature. I don't give
Yep.
a fuck what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wants to be around you because you benefit them in one way, shape, or form. Now it's your job to be able to align their incentives with your incentives. What do you want? That's
Mm-hmm.
how high level relationships are created. They're not created because somebody feels bad for you and wants to help you.
Fact.
That's not how it works.
Fact.
It's the same. People want mentors and shit. They want all this. They're like, why do I have to pay for a mentor? Because you're not on his level. You're an energy leak to him. Every
Right.
time he talks to you, he has to lower his frequency. He has
To
to
come down
lower
to
who
you.
he is to meet you where you're at. That
Literally.
costs energy, and energy costs time, and time costs money.
Literally.
So that's what I don't understand about this whole give me advice shit. Give me advice. I need to be around people who are successful. No, you need to get more successful if you want to do it for free. I'll be happy to talk to someone for hours if they're on the same level because I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm doing it's the same. We talk, we're good, we're friends. Why? Because we're on similar levels to where we're not dragging each other down.
Ever. Right.
So that's what I would say about that whole like needing high level friends and shit. You're not gonna get that because you're not high level. And
That's true.
if somebody does bring you around and they're at high levels, it's because they're getting something from you that you don't know.
Manipulation, huh?
Maybe you got some family or some shit that they know that you're attached to and they want to be
Yep.
around you.
Yep.
Maybe, and again, that's value, right? That's
Yeah.
still value.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you're good at talking to women. That's what I did.
Yeah.
People are always asking me, well, how do you know these billionaires? I don't believe Martell. Martell didn't talk to these billionaires. Here's the reality. I understood that I have to provide value at where I'm at. What is the value that I have that they don't have so that I can get the value of knowledge that they have? Okay, I'm fitness, great. I'm in shape. These motherfuckers are fat looking like sacks of oatmeal. I can
Mhm.
infiltrate. Great.
Mhm.
Now I become their friend. Now
Mhm.
they want to talk to me. Now I'm on their phone. Not because I'm rich, never claim that I am. But the reality is, I have a value, and the exchange of value is equal, not equal in money, but equal in inherent value. So once you start to understand that, you'll look at yourself and say, "Shit, I'm not worth anything right now. I gotta learn some shit. Gotta learn some shit."
Mhm. Um, but yeah, there's always a paywall for when you have no value, right?
Yes.
Because there has to be. There's nothing that exists without a paywall when you don't hit a specific level of frequency that it is to enter the room. Like you're about to get an exchange, and the fun, and tangent. The tangent is a lot of the game that we speak about inside of our individual social media platforms is enough game to bring somebody from zero to the top.
Mhm.
And so you get it for free anyways, right? And the interesting thing is that people don't value that. Because if you know if you feel like you're at the bottom, or you feel like you need to restructure, or you feel like you want to become something new, there is so much information to at least get started so that you can bypass some of these paywalls. Then get to a point where now it's just I need to implement systems and not rebuild structure. Because imagine, like you said a second ago, if someone at the top has to lower their frequency to get you, the lower you are, the further they have to come down, which means the higher the price. So now
Mhm.
all you have to do is work on yourself by yourself. Give yourself that resilience, give yourself a little thicker skin, and bring up your frequency or your value enough so that now they don't have to come down so far. Right?
Mhm.
Now you might see transformation in your life quickly. Some of my best students are the ones that have come into my system already with structure, but they have a few leaks that need to be plugged.
The
Right?
best people to work
The
with.
best students to work with are the ones that
Mhm.
have a semi-built structure, gave
Yes.
it a try themselves as much as they knew, and now
Mhm.
it's time for me to give them what they don't know. Because there are
Mhm.
things that you just don't know. Right.
Mhm.
And my worst students are the ones that have absolutely no structure. They don't want to get out of bed. They don't want to change their life. And I have to now give you more to get you to do the basics. But go
The
ahead. Go
biggest
ahead.
the biggest red flag I've ever seen with people that I've ever worked with is, how do I get out of bed? The fuck do you mean, how do I get out of bed? Get out of bed. That's
Get
what I
up.
always say. Get out. What do you want me to give you a mental hack? You want me to give you a David Goggins hack? I don't. Get out of bed. What are you living for?
Move.
What's your purpose? What's your mission? What is it that you what makes you alive? A
Literally.
lot of men are just dead. They're just walking
Yeah.
around, they're dead. And then they wonder, oh, why aren't women attracted to me? Because you're fucking dead.
Hmm.
Nobody's attracted to dead people. That's why they're in a cemetery somewhere else, away from society. Because
Hmm.
nobody wants to be around dead people.
Hmm.
Sounds harsh, but it's fucking true.
Facts.
Another good question. D Money was like, what tips for building a personal brand and making six figures? But I want to build a personal brand. Okay, here's the sad reality. Most people will not build personal brands. They won't. There's
Right.
most people won't even turn the camera on. And also, that's one step. Yeah, you turn the camera on. You yourself have to be acquiring many experiences in life. This goes back to this whole fucking topic we've been talking about. If you're a cuck of life,
Hmm.
you are not going to be able to build a personal brand. If you're in the game and you're playing and you're gathering experience points, you're doing all of this shit, you can build a personal brand because now you have shit that people want to hear. You have new perspectives that people want to hear. And then you might be asking, okay, well, how do you make six figures around that? Very, very simple. You sell people your frameworks of how you got in the arena and won a championship game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing.
That's it.
You're selling the previous transformation that you've had. Doesn't have to be self improvement. I know a lot of guys want to have self improvement channels. A lot of you got fuck self improvement.
Please.
I'll say that again. Fuck self improvement. I've been the
Please.
biggest hater of self improvement because I
Oh my
know,
God.
what are you improving? What foundation are you improving? Even the word itself is bullshit. Self improvement. I want to destroy who I am and rebuild and get to a better person faster. A lot of you guys are still broke watching self improvement videos because you're trying to build on foundations that are bullshit. So, of course, you're not going to be able to make money because your nervous system was
Facts.
never ready to make money. Your
Right.
mindset was never ready to make money. You're doing
Right.
cold showers, you're doing all this shit. Great. Tell me how that's going to make you money unless you go on YouTube and now you're a cold shower specialist. You want to, I'm going to call, fuck it, I'll say names. Hamza. All you guys want to watch Hamza, right? I'm going to give you guys some black pill. You want to, Hamza says, oh, you want to make money, you have to self improve. No, 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 no. If you want to make money like Hamza, you have to sell self improvements to idiots. That's how you make money like Hamza.
Point blank. Period.
Again, I say all this. I respect people's hustle because I understand what they're doing.
Yep.
But I want you to understand why you're being finessed. You're being finessed because you're being sold a certain lifestyle that's just a lifestyle, but it doesn't equate to what it is that you really want, which is money.
Yep.
You doing cold showers, you doing meditation, you doing all this shit, it's not making you money because you had no vehicle to begin with. So if you're
Right.
smart, you look at Hamza and you say, oh, Hamza's making money by getting on the camera and telling other people about self improvement. Oh, let me play this game too. Some of y'all always talk about scams and shit. No, it's not a scam, it's a game. You either play the game or you don't. Oh, yeah,
Right.
he's selling a course, it's a scam. No, he's selling a framework that he had, and you're
Mm-hmm.
buying it from him so that you can have more space to be able to figure out what it is that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight, going back to what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to come in and start to make money because they don't have a structure, but they're like, I need to make money, I need to make money. So they start calling all of these shits that are being sold as scams, these fucking courses. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you guys, give me the shittiest course about anything, I will fucking make money from it. Any course. Give me the worst course on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
The worst. Because there's already a foundation.
Right.
But some of you guys, you think the course is going to make you money. You think by paying the mentor, you think that the mentor is going to make you $10,000 a month. But the reality is you're making $10,000 a month.
Right.
You think by giving him X amount of money, he's just going to hand you back double.
No.
Think this is a fucking lottery.
Right.
No.
It's you. It's you.
So, yeah, going off the personal brand thing, you get in the arena, get some experience in life, figure out what you're really interested in, talk about that shit relentlessly, and sell people on how to get better at that thing that you're talking about.
Right.
That's the answer. That's the
And
very
you
simple answer.
and you're your first testimonial, right?
Hmm.
Like you have to be able, if you're going to be a fitness coach, you have to be in shape. You can't be fat selling fitness or saying that you're going to get people to lose fat if you have fat. That doesn't make any sense. You are your first testimonial. When I the time that I went from the low life of 9 to 5 to multi six figures was the second when I decided that, okay, cool, I'm going to take myself from broke to here. And that alone was an identity shift, right? You have to first believe that it's possible,
Hmm.
which is a part of the structure that then makes it possible. So if you go in thinking you can't do it, you're not going to do it. And most of you will get to a place where it's like, I want to do what I want to do, what I want to do it, but you're still a spectator. You
Hmm.
don't even enter the room, the arena. You just sit there saying, I want, I want, I want. Well, wanting doesn't get you what you want.
Hmm.
Action does. And the first action step is knowing that it's possible. You get tired of your current situation and say, okay, cool. If I want to become a six figure guy, a multi six figure guy, then what do I need to do? What decisions do I have to make? And it's not as difficult as you might seem. Like you might be thinking too deep.
Hmm.
Simplify it. Like
Mhm.
simplify everything that you're trying to do. If you're trying to go from 0 to 6 figures, okay, cool. Like you said, you must have the experience that you have to sell. You have to sell some sort of value
Mhm. Mhm.
to put within an A to B transformation gap, like a value gap, so that people can pay you for the value. But it's very simple. Assess your life. What are you good at? How can you package it and then sell it? And that the foundation why he said he can take any shitty course and become and make money from it was simply because you've already gotten the foundation of how to speak, how to understand people's pain points, relate those pain points back to your pain points, and then sell whatever the course had told you to sell as the offering. Simple. One, two, three, boom, bam, bang. The pricing doesn't matter as well. Like a lot of you get tripped up on pricing. Pricing doesn't matter because the
No.
price is what you want. The same shirt that you find in Lord Piana is the same shirt you could find in TJ Maxx. It's the body that matters. How does my body fit within those shirts? Am I in shape or am I fat or skinny? That's kind of what it is. The
Also
pricing of the shirt
perception.
doesn't fucking right. It's the perception. Doesn't fucking
Mhm.
matter. It's you. So you have to simplify the journey, take your value, put a price on it, and sell it. I
Mhm.
knew that out the gate, I wanted to be the top echelon. My brand was of value and luxury. So I priced it as high as I possibly could until the market that I went to go sell in, because every market has a cap, told
Mhm.
me no enough times for me to realize you have to bring the price down a bit.
Mhm.
That's it. Price it as high as you want, break up how much money you want, and then you just go sell.
Feedback loop. Literally just there's a few.
That's
You
it.
went to the market, you tested that shit, you figured it out. Some of y'all want to start businesses, you want to get on personal brands and shit. I have yet to see a video that you've made. I have yet to see an offer that you've even pitched to somebody. But
Yup.
you want that. You
I
don't
need it.
want no, actually you want it. You don't need it. That's what it is. A
That's
lot of y'all
incredible.
want shit. Y'all want
Uh,
shit. You want to be successful. You want to attract women. You want to do all this shit. You don't need it though.
Hell nah.
Because if you needed that shit, you would get it. A lot of y'all are all smart enough. I fucking hope. I don't know, man. I have lost a lot of hope in society lately, but I hope that at least the people who subscribe to me are smart enough to
Thanks.
know, and I need this. I'm gonna go get it. There's a guy who was like, "What is the best place to invest your money after the gym, nutrition, and basic everyday needs?" I'll be real, because I'm not really trying to sell y'all anything. I think, to be honest, I'm
Talk
really
your
not.
shit. Talk your shit.
Don't invest money in anything if you're literally at the level one of anything. Go on YouTube, get some free, there's literally free YouTube videos on everything that you want. Get the baseline right, get the momentum going. Then you invest in a mentor. Doesn't have to be me, doesn't have to be Dwight, doesn't fucking matter. Invest in whoever it is that you can relate to, but only invest in them when you have momentum, because nobody wants to work with somebody who's at zero. One, you won't be able to afford that shit. But what can you do? Go learn a skill. Copy. I'll say the basic shit that people know. Copywriting, ads. Go learn something that interests you. Go learn, I don't know, AI automation, whatever the fuck. What choose a business model. Any business model. Because what I'm seeing is you're saying where's the best place to invest your money, which means you want to make more money. Choose any business model of your choice. They all work. The only thing that doesn't work is you, if anything. Find some shit that works, sell that service, get a mentor to help you understand how to structure it as a business, and continue moving that way. Best thing you can do. You don't need a mentor at zero. If anything, the right mentor doesn't even want you. They won't even look at you because they know it's going to be a fucking pain in the ass to work with you because you won't understand the higher level shit. So now that you're in this renaissance of seeing all of the free information online, free courses on sales, if you want to get into sales, you can literally get a free course. You can train Chat GPT to train you on the basics of any fucking skill.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between want and need. When I need something, I'm resourceful. If I don't have the money, I'm going to get it anyway.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Simple. Same with my tech company. Great example. A lot of people are like, bro, how did you start your tech? I was fucking resourceful.
Hmm.
I had to figure out how to talk to people. I had to figure out shit. How do I pitch this in a way that it's so big that an investor would want to invest in me? How do
Yeah.
I get into these specific rooms? I literally shouted on the internet about the shit that I was selling.
Yeah.
I didn't have money like that. I didn't put in that much money directly in the sum. Yeah, for me to live, I had savings and shit that all ran dry,
Hmm.
but it was a need. Once you get the need met, you make some money, then you go into the mentorship. Then you get the mentorship for whatever it is that you want. And then that lets you go on and you keep moving up, you keep moving up. And then you get to a point where now you're free, but never invest your money into anything but yourself when you're starting out. You don't need
Literally.
stocks, you don't need Bitcoin.
Nope.
Your $1,000 isn't gonna do shit in fucking Bitcoin or stocks,
Fuck.
but it can do a fuck ton on yourself.
Immediately. Because the
Invest
system,
in better attire.
you're gonna learn systems.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you invest in yourself, you learn systems. That's the best thing that you can do. Because you don't come out if you don't know how to generate it yourself. You need to learn systems that generate it for you, or build you a structure and then give you a system that you can then go out into the marketplace and test if it works. Get the feedback loops, get a shit ton of money, and then go invest it into more reputable things that can work. Like money will work for itself. But the first thing you have to improve is yourself.
Hmm.
But go ahead. There's a food question. I don't know if
Oh
you
my
want.
god, this is oh boy.
Yeah, that's why I let you do that one.
I
Go
love the fitness question. Shit. Yeah, have y'all not seen enough videos about fitness to
ahead.
just know? Okay, what do y'all eat every day? I will be living alone now and starting to buy all groceries myself now. What's the best food for the buck? Bro, Whole Foods. Wake up, eat just fruit until noon. This is what I do. Then eat 5 eggs. Eggs are cheap, great. Then eat some sort of protein in the middle. Eat Greek yogurt, add some protein to it, put
Yeah,
that in, put some fruits in there, have some honey in there, eat that. Then eat a full meal, whatever it is of your choosing, whatever you can afford. Steak, if it's chicken, if it's turkey, get the leanest shit possible, eat that, go to sleep, wake up, repeat.
do the
That's
same
it.
shit.
I'm not here to sell y'all on any complicated fitness shit.
Yeah.
This is the problem with the fitness industry. Everybody wants to sell you these complicated frameworks because they want to make money.
Hmm.
Keep it real.
Yeah.
So they tell you all this shit's hard. This is why I got out of the fitness industry because I was tired of having to make shit seem like it was hard when I know it's literally that simple. Be in a caloric deficit, eat as
Yeah.
much protein as you can, go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. You're done. That's level one. We're done.
Baseline.
Eat whole foods. Don't eat bullshit.
That's it. Very simple.
But again,
I'm not going to improve that. Go ahead.
it goes the same way with business. Everybody wants these complex. Alex Hormozy said, "Oh yeah, $100 million offer framework. I have to create this frame." Everybody wants the complicated shit. You know why you want the complicated shit? Because it forces you. It tricks you into thinking that you can't do it. So it gives you an excuse not to do shit.
A mind fuck.
You're like, oh, it's complicated. Oh, it's too complicated. I can't do it. I'm not at the level yet. When in reality, everything from first principles baseline level is extremely simple.
Yes.
Business, extremely simple. You
Yes.
find what the market wants, you figure out a way to deliver it to them at a lower cost, and you
Yep.
charge them a perceived cost for what it is that they need to solve.
Keep the difference.
And you reach
That's
out to as many people as humanly possible daily to
yep.
sell what it is that you're selling.
Literally.
Can't tell you anything if
Course made on live. Done. Like 1, 2, 3, go. That's it. The problem is never the problem was never business. The problem was never the framework. The problem was you. That's what the problem is. Problem's you. Very simple.
Oh, Martel, how do I go get women? Okay, well, first, what woman do you want? Oh, I don't know. What woman do I have no idea. Okay, you don't even know what woman you want. That's one. Okay, well, what are your boundaries? What are your do's and don'ts? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Well, who do you think the woman it is that you want wants? What kind of man do you think she wants? Well, I don't know. The fuck are we talking about? Then you come back, all women are bad. I keep getting fucked over. Of course you do. You deserve that shit.
Right.
You don't even know
Like,
why you exist.
yeah. I got any more any deep anything else that's penetrating the mind?
not gonna lie, we went kind of crazy on
Say it
this one.
again.
We went kind of crazy
Oh,
on
for
this one. I
sure, for
like
sure.
this.
We next week could be crazier, bro. 'Cause I think,
Yeah, we're trying to do this weekly.
yeah, I think you have to. Can I join your live?
I wish I could do this shit. I
I don't
cannot.
even know how to do that.
I'll figure it out for the next time. We'll bring some guys in. It'll be the fucking gauntlet.
Yeah.
Autopsy report.
Oh, yo, hello. You start doing that, then, bro. It's cooked. But
I gotta learn this shit. Maybe Streamlabs might be a good.
yeah, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
But again, if I don't have any more questions, I think we save them for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As usual, guys. Go ahead, shoot a subscription to Dwight.
for sure.
Subscribe to him. Subscribe to his channel. He's doing great work.
For
A lot
sure.
of really, really good shit in the pipeline. Appreciate all you guys for hopping on. Hope you guys got a lot of value from this. This was very, very good.
Yeah.
Any last words from you?
I think work on your structure. All of you work on your structure. The next time we get back in here, I think we come back from a basis of structure and we speak and help them go deep and figuring out how to get that feminine energy. Because I know we didn't speak about
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
masculine and feminine, but if they're looking for abundance, it all starts from your structure. So up until next week, y'all got like 7 days
yeah,
until we run this back, and we definitely dive deep into how to get that structure to cash flow with the feminine energy
yeah.
and speaking on that duality. So yeah, work on your structure. Thanks for
All
having me.
right, fellas.
Yeah, man.
Have a good one.
All right, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.